3:10 on a Monday afternoon. The iron gates of the Moretti estate stand 12 feet tall, painted black as midnight, guarded by men in expensive suits with guns hidden beneath their jackets. Beyond those gates lies a mansion worth $40 million, with marble floors imported from Italy and chandeliers that cost more than most people earn in a lifetime. But today, none of that wealth means anything. Because inside that mansion, two tiny babies are screaming like their hearts are being torn apart. And the most powerful gang leader in Chicago cannot make them stop. Maya Rodriguez sits on the cold concrete sidewalk 50 feet from those gates, her thin jacket pulled tight against the autumn wind, her entire life packed into a single backpack beside her. At 26 years old, she looks older than she should, with dark circles carved beneath her eyes and a scar running along her jaw that she covers with her long dark hair. She has been homeless for 3 months. Living on the streets, sleeping in shelters, eating whatever she can find. But 3 weeks ago, something changed. 3 weeks ago, she started coming to this spot every single day. Sitting outside these gates, listening to those babies cry, and feeling a pain in her chest that makes it hard to breathe. She does not know why she keeps coming back. She does not know what pulls her to this place. She only knows that those cries reach into her soul and twist something deep inside her. Something she thought had died 2 years ago. On the night she lost everything. Inside the mansion, Dominic Moretti paces across the marble floor of the grand foyer like a caged animal. At 38 years old, he is the head of the most feared criminal organization in Illinois. Men tremble when he walks into a room. Enemies disappear when he gives the order. He controls an empire built on power, fear, and money. Yet right now, he would trade every dollar, every weapon, every ounce of power he has just to make his daughters stop crying. How long this time? He asks Marcus, his butler and closest confidant, a man who has served the Moretti family for 30 years. Marcus checks his leather-bound journal with shaking hands. His voice is rough with exhaustion. 5 hours and 42 minutes, sir. Without stopping. 5 hours. Yesterday it was 7. The day before that, 8. 4 months of this. 4 months of endless screaming. 4 months of watching his daughters suffer. 4 months of feeling like the worst father who ever lived. Dominic runs his hands through his dark hair, which is usually styled perfectly but now sticks up in every direction. His designer suit is wrinkled beyond recognition. His eyes are bloodshot. He has not slept more than 2 hours in a row since the twins were born. And he looks like a ghost. A ghost haunting his own life. The cries grow louder, louder, piercing through every room, every hallway, every corner of the mansion that was supposed to be a home but feels more like a prison. Dr. Chen, the 6th pediatric specialist Dominic has hired in 4 months, walks down the grand staircase with defeat written all over his face. He is the best baby doctor in the Midwest. His services cost $20,000 per consultation. But even he cannot help. Mr. Moretti, Dr. Chen says quietly, like he is afraid to speak. I have run every test. The twins are healthy. There is no medical explanation for this behavior. I do not know what else to do. Dominic feels something crack inside his chest. You do not know what else to do? His voice rises with each word. I am paying you $40,000 a week to fix this. My daughters have been screaming for 4 months straight. And you are telling me you do not know what to do? Dr. Chen steps back, fear flickering in his eyes. Even the doctor knows what Dominic Moretti is capable of when pushed too far. But Marcus steps between them, his calm voice cutting through the tension. Sir, please. He has tried everything. They all have. And it is true. Dr. Chen is the 6th specialist. Before him came Dr. Williams, the sleep expert from New York. Dr. Patel, the neurologist from Boston. Dr. Santiago, the child psychologist from Los Angeles. Dr. Kim, the holistic medicine practitioner from San Francisco. And Dr. Morrison, the behavioral specialist from Seattle. 6 of the most expensive, most qualified baby doctors in the entire country. And not one of them could help. Dominic has spent over $3 million on specialists, treatments, experimental therapies, special formulas, sound machines, white noise generators, humidifiers, aromatherapy, baby massage therapists, energy healers, and every other possible solution anyone has suggested. He would spend 10 million more if it would work. 100 million. Everything he has. But nothing works. Nothing. If you have ever watched someone powerful be completely helpless, If you have ever felt that kind of desperation, stay with this story. Because what happens next will change everything. Dominic dismisses Dr. Chen with a wave of his hand and climbs the stairs to the nursery on the second floor. With each step, the cries get louder. Louder. Until they feel like needles driving into his brain. He pushes open the door painted soft pink with silver stars, and the sound hits him like a physical force. Isabella and Sophia lie in their matching cribs, their tiny faces red and swollen from crying, tears streaming down their cheeks, their small hands clenched into fists. 4 months old. They should be smiling by now. Cooing. Playing with toys. Instead, all they do is scream. The day nurse, Mrs. Patterson, stands between the cribs looking like she might collapse. She has been here for 6 hours straight, and her face is pale with exhaustion. Mr. Moretti, I have tried everything. Feeding, changing, rocking, singing, walking, bouncing. Nothing helps. Dominic walks to Isabella's crib and lifts his daughter into his arms. Her tiny body is tense, rigid, fighting against him even as he holds her close. Shush, baby girl. Daddy is here. Daddy is here. But Isabella only cries harder. Louder. As if his touch makes everything worse. The pain in Dominic's chest spreads like poison. He is supposed to protect his daughters. He is supposed to keep them safe, keep them happy, give them everything they need. That is what fathers do. That is what his own father did for him before cancer took him 10 years ago. But Dominic cannot even make his babies stop crying. Cannot even give them peace for 1 single hour. Sir, Marcus says from the doorway, his voice gentle. Perhaps you should rest. You have been awake for 36 hours straight. How can I rest? Dominic's voice cracks. How can I sleep when they are suffering like this? What kind of father would I be? Marcus does not answer. Because there is no good answer. Dominic looks down at Isabella, at her swollen eyes and tear-stained face, and he feels something break inside him. Something deep and fundamental. He whispers to his daughter, I am so sorry, baby girl. I am so sorry I cannot help you. I am so sorry your mama is not here. She would know what to do. She always knew what to do. His wife, Elena, dead 4 months ago, the same day the twins were born. Massive hemorrhaging during the delivery. The doctors worked for 2 hours to save her. But they could not. She died on that table, holding Dominic's hand, whispering 3 words over and over. Save our babies. Save our babies. Save our babies. He saved them. The twins lived, but Elena did not. And now Dominic wonders if maybe the babies know. Maybe they feel that their mother is gone. Maybe that is why they cannot stop crying. Because they are mourning someone they never got to meet. Mourning the woman who was supposed to hold them, feed them, love them. The woman who died bringing them into this world. Outside the mansion, Maya still sits on the sidewalk, listening to those cries that cut through the afternoon air like knives. She does not know who lives in that mansion. Does not know about Dominic Moretti or his criminal empire or his dead wife. She only knows that those babies are suffering. And something inside her cannot walk away. A black SUV pulls up to the gates. The driver rolls down the window and one of the guards steps forward. They exchange a few words, and then the guard looks over at Maya sitting on the sidewalk. His face hardens. He walks toward her with heavy footsteps. You, the guard says, his voice cold. You need to leave. You have been sitting here every day for 3 weeks. This is private property. Maya looks up at him. Her voice is soft but steady. I am on the public sidewalk. I am not doing anything wrong. You are making my boss uncomfortable. Now move, or I will make you move. Maya knows she should leave. Knows she should not cause trouble. But something keeps her frozen in place. Those cries. Those desperate, heartbreaking cries. She cannot just walk away. The babies, she whispers. Why are they crying like that? The guard's face changes. For just a second, the hardness cracks and something like pain flickers in his eyes. That is none of your business. Now leave. Final warning. Maya gathers her backpack and stands. Her legs are stiff from sitting so long. She walks away slowly, looking back at the mansion one last time. And in that moment, she makes a decision. She does not know why. Does not understand it, but she knows she will be back tomorrow. And the day after that. And the day after that. Because those babies need help. And for some reason she cannot explain, Maya thinks she might be able to give it to them. The next day, Tuesday, 2:47 in the afternoon. Maya sits in the same spot on the sidewalk, her backpack beside her, listening to the cries that never seem to stop. Today they sound even worse. More desperate. More hopeless. Like the babies are giving up. Inside the mansion, Dominic stands in his study staring at the wall of photographs. Pictures of Elena smiling, laughing, glowing with pregnancy. The last photo was taken 1 week before the twins were born. She is radiant in it, her hands on her swollen belly, her eyes full of joy. Looking at her now feels like someone is ripping his heart out of his chest with bare hands. "Sir?" Marcus knocks on the open door. There is a woman outside the gates. She has been sitting there every day for almost a month. The guards are concerned. Dominic barely hears him. "Tell them to handle it." "They have tried, sir." She leaves when they ask. But she comes back the next day. Same spot. Same time. Then call the police. Have her removed. Marcus hesitates. "Sir, she is homeless. She has nowhere else to go. And she seems to be drawn to the baby's cries. She just sits there, listening." That gets Dominic's attention. He turns from the photographs. "What do you mean drawn to them?" "I do not know how else to explain it, sir. She just sits and listens, as if she understands something we do not." For the first time in days, Dominic feels a flicker of curiosity. Not hope. He has given up on hope. But curiosity. "Show me." They walk to the front window that overlooks the gates. And there she is. A young woman with long dark hair, thin shoulders hunched against the cold, sitting on the concrete like it is the most natural thing in the world. Her face is turned toward the mansion, and even from this distance, Dominic can see the pain in her expression. "How long does she stay?" he asks. "Hours, sir. Sometimes all day. She does not beg, does not ask for anything. She just listens." Dominic watches her for a long moment. Something about her face. Something in the way she sits so still, so focused. As if those cries matter to her in a way he cannot understand. "Bring her inside," he says suddenly. Marcus turns to him in shock. "Sir, you heard me. Bring her inside. I want to talk to her." "But sir, we do not know anything about her. She could be. I do not care what she could be. Bring her inside." Marcus knows better than to argue when Dominic uses that tone. He nods and leaves the study. 5 minutes later, the intercom buzzes. "Mr. Moretti," Marcus's voice crackles through. The woman is at the front door. Dominic walks to the grand foyer just as Marcus opens the heavy oak door. And there she stands. Small, thin, dressed in clothes that have seen better days. Her dark hair hangs loose around her face, partially hiding a scar along her jaw. Her eyes are large and brown and filled with something that looks like fear. But also, something else. Something Dominic cannot name. "What is your name?" he asks, his voice harder than he intends. The woman's eyes dart around the massive foyer, taking in the marble floors, the crystal chandelier, the sweeping staircase. She looks completely out of place. Like a sparrow in a palace. "Maya," she says quietly. "Maya Rodriguez. Why do you sit outside my gates every day?" Maya's hands twist together nervously. I heard the babies crying. I could not just walk past." "So you sit on the concrete for hours instead?" "Yes." "Why?" Maya looks down at her worn sneakers. When she speaks, her voice is barely above a whisper. "Because I know what it is like to lose someone. And those babies, they sound like they lost someone too." The words hit Dominic like a punch to the gut. He stares at this homeless woman, this stranger, and realizes she understands something that 6 specialists worth $3 million could not figure out. Before he can respond, Isabella's cried tears through the mansion. Louder than ever. More desperate than ever. As if she has been holding on by a thread and that thread just snapped. Without thinking, Dominic turns and runs up the stairs. Marcus follows. And to his surprise, so does Maya. They burst into the nursery together. Mrs. Patterson is pacing with Sophia in her arms, tears streaming down the old woman's face. "I am sorry, Mr. Moretti. I am so sorry. I cannot make them stop. I cannot." But Dominic is not listening. He rushes to Isabella's crib and lifts his daughter, but the baby only screams louder. Her face is purple. Her body is rigid, and Dominic feels panic rising in his throat like bile. Something is wrong. Something is very, very wrong. "Call an ambulance," he shouts. "Call. Wait." Maya's voice cuts through the chaos. Quiet but firm. May I try something?" Everyone turns to look at her. This strange homeless woman who has no right to be here. No business being in this room. But something in her eyes makes Dominic hesitate. "What could you possibly?" "Please," Maya interrupts. And there is something in that single word. A depth of pain and understanding that stops all argument. Just let me try. Dominic looks down at Isabella, at her red swollen face and desperate cries. He has nothing left to lose. Fine, but if you hurt her, I would never hurt a child. Maya steps forward slowly, her movements careful and gentle. May I hold her? Dominic's every instinct screams no. This woman is a stranger. Homeless. Unknown. But Isabella is suffering and nothing else has worked. So he makes a decision that will change everything. He places his daughter into Maya's arms. And the world stops. Isabella's cries cut off mid-scream. Just stop. As if someone flipped a switch inside her tiny body. Her red face slowly fades to pink. Her clenched fists relax. Her eyes, swollen from months of crying, open and focus on Maya's face with an intensity that makes everyone in the room hold their breath. Maya looks down at the baby in her arms, and tears start streaming down her face. She whispers so softly that Dominic almost cannot hear, "Hello, sweet angel. I know it hurts. I know you miss her. But I am here now. And I promise, you are going to be okay." Sophia, still in Mrs. Patterson's arms, suddenly stops crying too. The silence is so complete, so absolute, that it feels like a miracle. Like someone reached down from heaven and touched this broken house with grace. Mrs. Patterson's hands tremble as she stares at the quiet baby in her arms. In 4 months. This is the first time. The first time they have both been quiet at the same time. Marcus pulls out his leather journal and begins writing frantically, his hand shaking so badly the words come out jagged. This is impossible. This is medically impossible. But Dominic cannot look away from Maya. From the way she holds Isabella with such tenderness, such natural care. From the tears on her face that she makes no attempt to hide. From the way his daughter's tiny hand reaches up and wraps around Maya's finger, holding on like she has finally found what she has been searching for all these months. How did you? Dominic's voice cracks. How did you do that? Maya rocks Isabella gently, her eyes never leaving the baby's face. I did not do anything. She just needed someone who understands. Someone who knows what it feels like to lose the person you needed most. And you understand that? Maya finally looks up at him. And in her eyes, Dominic sees a pain so deep it makes his own grief look shallow. Yes, she whispers. I understand that better than anyone. For a long moment, no one moves. No one speaks. They just stand in that nursery, listening to the impossible silence. The miraculous quiet. The first peace this house has known in 4 months. Then Sophia makes a small sound. Not a cry. A coo. Soft and gentle, like a baby bird. Mrs. Patterson looks down at her in wonder. Did she just make a happy sound? Isabella, still in Maya's arms, lets out a tiny sigh and closes her eyes. Her breathing evens out, deepens, and then, for the first time since the day she was born, Isabella falls into real, peaceful sleep. Dominic collapses into the rocking chair by the window. His legs give out beneath him, and he puts his face in his hands and cries. Not the silent tears he has shed alone in his study, but deep, wrenching sobs that tear from his chest like they have been trapped there for months. Because for the first time since Elena died, his daughters are at peace. And he does not know how to handle the relief flooding through him. Marcus writes in his journal, 2:58 p.m., Tuesday. The homeless woman held Isabella. Both babies went silent. First true quiet in 4 months. Cannot explain. Cannot understand. But this might be the miracle we have been praying for. Outside the nursery door, in the shadows of the hallway, another pair of eyes watches the scene. Cold, calculating eyes that narrow with something that looks like jealousy. Something that looks like rage. Dr. Victoria Hale, the family physician who has been treating the Moretti family for 5 years, who has been in love with Dominic Moretti for just as long, stands frozen in the doorway. Watching this stranger, this nobody, this homeless woman accomplish what she, a trained medical doctor, could not. And in that moment, Victoria makes a decision. This woman cannot stay. This woman will not take what Victoria has been working toward for years. This woman will be destroyed. No matter what it takes. 20 minutes later, Isabella still sleeps peacefully in Maya's arms. Sophia has been placed in her crib and is also sleeping. Real sleep. The kind where babies' faces relax and their breathing becomes deep and steady. The kind of sleep that has been missing from this house for 4 long months. Dominic has not moved from the rocking chair. He just sits there, staring at Maya holding his daughter, his mind trying to process what just happened. Trying to understand how this stranger did in 3 minutes what 6 specialists could not do in 4 months. Mrs. Patterson quietly excuses herself, tears still streaming down her weathered face. She whispers to Marcus on her way out, "That girl is an angel. A true angel sent from God." Marcus nods but does not write that down. He is a practical man who believes in facts, not miracles. But even he cannot deny what he just witnessed. Finally, Dominic finds his voice. "How long have you been homeless?" Maya does not look up from Isabella. 3 months. "And before that?" I had a life. A home. Her voice breaks. "I do not want to talk about before." Dominic recognizes that tone. The tone of someone running from a past too painful to speak aloud. He knows it because he hears it in his own voice every time someone mentions Elena. "You lost someone," he says. Not a question. A statement. Maya's tears fall faster. One drops onto Isabella's blanket. "Yes. Recently? 2 years ago. What happened?" Maya shakes her head. "Please. I cannot talk about it." Dominic should push. Should demand answers. This woman is a stranger holding his daughter, and he knows nothing about her. But something stops him. Maybe it is the pain in her voice. Maybe it is the way Isabella sleeps so peacefully in her arms. Or maybe it is because Dominic knows what it feels like to have a wound so deep that speaking about it makes you bleed all over again. "You need a job," he says suddenly. Maya looks up at him in shock. "What? A job? Do you have one?" "No. I lost everything when." She trails off. "I am offering you a position. Live-in nanny for the twins. You will have your own room. Full meals. Salary of $10,000 per month." Maya's eyes go wide. 10,000. That is impossible. I am not qualified. I have no experience. You are the only person who can make my daughters stop crying. Dominic's voice is firm now. Controlled. This is the voice of a man who built an empire through decisiveness and power. That makes you the most qualified person in the world. Name your price if 10,000 is not enough. It is not about money. Maya says quickly. It is about, I do not know anything about you. About this place. I heard the guards talking about guns and dangerous people. I do not want to be involved in anything illegal. Dominic almost smiles. Almost. You think I am a criminal. Are you? He considers lying. Considers telling her he is just a wealthy businessman. But something about this woman makes him want to be honest. Yes, he says simply. I am the head of the largest organized crime family in Chicago. I control everything from the docks to the downtown clubs. My empire is built on things that would make most people run screaming. Maya should be afraid, should grab her backpack and run out that door and never look back. But instead, she looks down at Isabella sleeping in her arms. And she asks the most important question. Would you ever hurt a child? Never, Dominic says immediately. I have done terrible things in my life. Hurt people who deserved it and some who did not. But children? Children are sacred. I would die before I let anyone harm a child. Including my own daughters. Maya studies his face for a long moment. Looking for lies. Looking for danger. But all she sees is exhaustion. Pain. And a desperate love for these 2 tiny babies who cannot stop crying. I need rules, she says finally. Boundaries. Name them. I take care of the babies. Nothing else. I am not involved in your business. Ever. I do not want to know about it. Do not want to see it. And the second I think the twins are in any danger, I leave. No questions asked. Dominic nods. Agreed. And, Maya hesitates. And I need to be able to leave if I want to. I am not a prisoner here. Something flickers across Dominic's face. Something dark. But he nods again. You are free to go anytime you want. Though I hope you will not. Why? Because my daughters need you. And his voice drops. I need someone to help me keep them safe. To keep them happy. Their mother was supposed to do that. But she is gone. And I am failing them every single day. The raw honesty in his words breaks something inside Maya. She knows that kind of failure. Knows what it feels like to watch someone you love slip away and be powerless to stop it. Okay, she whispers. I will stay. For the twins. But only for them. Dominic releases a breath he did not know he was holding. Thank you. Do not thank me yet. I might not be able to keep them calm forever. Today might have been a fluke. It was not a fluke. Marcus speaks for the first time since the crying stopped. I have been watching these babies for 4 months. I have seen every specialist, every treatment, every attempted solution. And nothing has worked until you. That was not coincidence. Maya wants to argue. Wants to say this cannot possibly be real. But Isabella is sleeping in her arms. Actually sleeping. And Sophia is quiet in her crib. And for the first time in 3 months, Maya feels like maybe she has a purpose again. Maybe she can help these babies in a way she could not help the person she lost 2 years ago. When do I start? She asks. Now, Dominic says. Marcus will show you to your room. Get you whatever you need. And then you can stay with the girls while I handle some business downstairs. Business. Maya knows that probably means something illegal. Something dangerous. But she made a rule. She does not want to know. So she nods and carefully stands, still holding Isabella. Should I put her in the crib? She asks. No. Dominic's voice is soft now. Vulnerable. Keep holding her, please, for as long as she will let you. So Maya follows Marcus out of the nursery, carrying Isabella like she is made of glass, while Dominic stays behind. He walks to Sophia's crib and looks down at his sleeping daughter. Touches her tiny hand with one finger. And whispers, your mama would have loved you so much, baby girl. She fought so hard to give you life. And now maybe someone else can give you the peace she wanted for you. But Dominic does not see Victoria standing in the hallway. Does not see the cold fury on her face as she watches Maya walk past carrying the baby. Does not see the way Victoria's hands clench into fists, her perfectly manicured nails digging into her palms hard enough to draw blood. Victoria has been Dominic's family doctor for 5 years. Has been in love with him for just as long. She was there when Elena was alive, treating her through the pregnancy, secretly hoping something would go wrong. And when Elena died on that delivery table, Victoria thought it was a sign. A sign that she could finally have what she had wanted for so long. But then the babies started crying. Screaming, never stopping, and every specialist Victoria recommended failed. She made sure of that. Subtle suggestions to use the wrong treatments. Quiet words that led doctors down wrong paths. Because as long as the babies were suffering, Dominic needed her. As long as nothing worked, she was the one constant in his life. But now this homeless woman shows up and ruins everything. In 3 minutes. With no training, no degree, nothing. Victoria cannot allow this. Will not allow this. She pulls out her phone and makes a call. It is answered on the second ring. Hello? A rough male voice says. Marcus, Victoria says sweetly. Not Marcus the butler. A different Marcus. Marcus Kane. A man who works in the shadows of Chicago's underworld. A man who can make problems disappear. I have a job for you. There is a woman staying at the Moretti estate. Maya Rodriguez. I need you to find out everything about her. Every secret, every mistake, every dark corner of her past. And I need it by tomorrow. That will cost you, Marcus Kane says. I do not care what it costs. Just get me something I can use to destroy her. Victoria ends the call and smiles. A cold, beautiful smile that does not reach her eyes. This homeless woman might have won today. But Victoria Hale plays the long game. And she always wins in the end. Maya's new room is on the 2nd floor, right next to the nursery. It is bigger than any apartment she has ever lived in. King-sized bed with soft white sheets. Private bathroom with a shower that has 6 different settings. A window overlooking the gardens where roses bloom even in autumn. Closet filled with clothes that Marcus somehow found in her exact size within an hour. Maya stands in the middle of this luxury, still holding Isabella, and feels like she is dreaming. 3 hours ago she was homeless. Sitting on concrete, wearing the same clothes she had worn for 4 days straight. And now she is in a mansion worth $40 million, holding a baby who will not let her go, about to start a job paying $10,000 a month. It does not feel real. Isabella stirs in her arms and makes a small sound. Not crying, just a tiny grunt that babies make when they are moving between sleep stages. Maya rocks her gently and whispers, "Shush, sweet girl. You are safe. I am right here." A soft knock on the door. Marcus enters carrying a tray with food. Real food, not scraps from shelter kitchens or day-old bread from donation boxes. A grilled chicken salad with fresh vegetables. A bowl of soup that smells like heaven. A slice of chocolate cake. And a glass of cold milk. I thought you might be hungry, Marcus says kindly. You can put the baby in the bassinet by the window. She should be fine for a few minutes while you eat. But when Maya tries to lay Isabella down, the baby immediately whimpers. Her face starts to scrunch up. The beginning of another cry. Maya quickly lifts her back up. It is okay. I can eat while holding her. Marcus frowns. That is not practical. I do not care if it is practical. I will not let her cry if I can stop it. Something changes in Marcus's expression. Respect, maybe. Or recognition. You really do understand them, do not you? I understand what it is like to need someone and have them disappear. Maya's voice breaks slightly. I will not do that to her. Not when she finally feels safe. Marcus nods slowly. Miss Rodriguez. Maya. Please. Just Maya. Maya, then. May I ask you something personal? You can ask. I might not answer. The scar on your jaw. How did you get it? Maya's free hand unconsciously touches the scar. Does it matter? It might. Mr. Moretti runs background checks on everyone who works in this house. It is not personal. It is necessary for the safety of his daughters. If there is something in your past that could put them at risk. There is not. Maya's voice is sharp now. Defensive. I would never put a child in danger. Never. I believe you. But Mr. Moretti will still need to know your history. Maya looks down at Isabella. At this tiny baby sleeping peacefully in her arms for the first time in her short life. And Maya makes a decision. If she wants to stay here, if she wants to help these babies, she has to be honest. Even about the parts that hurt too much to say aloud. My husband gave me this scar, she says quietly. Ex-husband, Ryan Rodriguez. We were married for 2 years. I thought I loved him. Thought he loved me. But 6 months into the marriage, he started hitting me. It got worse over time. The scar happened when he threw a plate at my face. The edge caught my jaw and she touches it again. It required 14 stitches. Marcus's face hardens. Where is he now? I do not know. And I do not want to know. I left him, filed a restraining order, but he kept finding me, kept following me, threatening me, so I ran, changed my name, went completely off the grid. That is how I ended up homeless. It was safer than staying in one place where he could find me. Your real name is not Maya Rodriguez? It is Maya, but Rodriguez was his last name. My birth name was Maya Santos. I took his name when we got married and kept it after the divorce because changing it back would have created a paper trail he could follow. Marcus writes all of this in his journal. Is there anything else Mr. Moretti should know? Maya hesitates. Then, I had a son. Noah. He was 3 years old when my husband. Her voice cracks, breaks. When my husband killed him. The room goes silent. Completely, utterly silent. Even Isabella seems to hold her breath. Marcus's pen stops moving. I am so sorry. It was an accident. Ryan was drunk. Angry about something stupid. Noah was crying because he was hungry and I was not cooking fast enough. Ryan grabbed Noah to make him stop crying. Shook him. Too hard. Noah hit his head on the corner of the kitchen counter and Maya cannot finish. Cannot say the words. He died in my arms. Died while I was begging Ryan to call 911. But Ryan was too scared of going to jail. So he just left. Walked out that door and disappeared. And I was left holding my dead son. Tears streamed down Maya's face. She has not cried about this in months. Has not let herself feel the full weight of losing Noah. But now, holding Isabella, it all comes flooding back. The guilt, the rage, the unbearable grief. That is why you understand the twins, Marcus says softly. That is why they respond to you. They lost their mother. I lost my son. We all know what it feels like to have a hole torn through your heart that will never heal. And sometimes, Maya looks down at Isabella. Sometimes the only thing that helps is finding someone else who understands that pain. Marcus finishes writing and closes his journal. Mr. Moretti will want to know all of this. But I will make sure he understands it is not a security risk. You are running from an abuser. That is not your fault. Thank you. Marcus leaves quietly and Maya finally eats. One-handed, awkward bites while Isabella sleeps. The food is the best thing she has tasted in months. Maybe years. And for a few minutes, Maya lets herself feel something that is not grief or fear or pain. She lets herself feel hope. But Maya does not die. Because at that exact moment, the warehouse door explodes inward with a deafening crash. Armed men pour through the opening. Dominic leads them, his gun drawn, his face a mask of cold fury. Get away from her, Dominic's voice cuts through the chaos like a blade. Ryan spins around, bringing the knife up. But before he can take a single step toward Maya, a gunshot rings out. Ryan drops. The knife clatters across concrete. And he falls to his knees, clutching his shoulder where the bullet entered. Dominic walks forward slowly, deliberately, until he is standing over Ryan's bleeding form. "I told you," Dominic says quietly. "If you came near her, you would regret it." "How did you?" Ryan gasps through the pain. "You really thought I would not have trackers on the twins? On Maya? You really thought I would leave them unprotected?" Dominic crouches down to Ryan's level. "I knew the second you took my daughters. And I let you lead us here because I wanted you somewhere isolated. Somewhere I could deal with you properly. You going to kill me?" Ryan laughs bitterly. "Go ahead. Prove you are just like me. I am nothing like you." Dominic stands. "I do not hurt innocent people. I do not terrorize women and children. And I certainly do not murder my own son." He signals to Tony. "Get him out of my sight. Make sure the police have everything they need to lock him away forever." Tony and two other men drag Ryan out of the warehouse. His screams fade into the night. Then Dominic turns to Maya. She is still pressed against the wall, holding both crying babies, tears streaming down her face. "Are you hurt?" he asks gently. Maya shakes her head, cannot speak, can barely breathe. Dominic carefully takes Sophia from her arms. Then Isabella. He passes them to Marcus, who appeared at some point during the chaos. And then Dominic pulls Maya into his arms and holds her while she breaks apart. She sobs into his chest. Deep, wrenching sobs that tear through her whole body. All the fear, all the terror, all the trauma of her past crashing down on her at once. "I thought I lost them," she gasps. "I thought he would kill them. I thought, shush, they are safe. You are safe. It is over now. How did you know where we were?" "Micro trackers in the twins' clothes. And in the bracelet Marcus gave you on your first day. I was not taking chances." Dominic pulls back enough to look at her face. "Why did you not tell me? Why did you run off alone? The note said tell anyone and they die. I could not risk it. I could not. You almost got yourself killed. I do not care. As long as the twins were safe, I do not care what happens to me." "Well, I care." Dominic's voice cracks. "I care what happens to you, Maya. You matter. You matter to those babies. You matter to this house. And you matter to me. Do you understand? You are not expendable. You are not worthless. You are everything." Maya stares at him. "Everything?" "Yes, everything." And then Dominic does something he has not done since Elena died. He kisses her. Not gentle, not tentative, but fierce and desperate and full of all the fear he felt when he realized she was gone. Full of all the relief he feels now that she is safe. Full of something deeper that neither of them is ready to name yet. When they finally break apart, both of them are crying. "I am sorry," Dominic whispers. "I am sorry I could not protect you from Victoria. Sorry I could not stop Ryan sooner. Sorry that." "Stop apologizing," Maya says. "You saved us. You saved me. Again. I will always save you. Always protect you. For as long as you will let me. Promise?" "I promise." They stand there in that rotting warehouse, holding each other while Marcus quietly calms the babies. And for the first time since Noah died, Maya lets herself believe that maybe she can have a future. Maybe she can be happy again. Maybe she can have a family. Not the family she lost, but a new one, built from broken pieces that somehow fit together perfectly. 3 weeks pass. Ryan is in prison awaiting trial on kidnapping charges, attempted murder, and an old warrant for Noah's death that was never executed. Victoria is in a different prison, also awaiting trial. Neither of them will see freedom for decades. Maya should feel relieved, but instead, she feels numb, disconnected, like she is watching her life happen from behind glass. She still takes care of the twins, feeds them, changes them, rocks them to sleep, but the spark is gone. The joy, the connection that made everything feel right. Isabella and Sophia sense the change. They cry more, cling harder, need constant reassurance that Maya is not going to leave. Dominic notices. Of course he notices. One night, after the twins are finally asleep, he finds Maya sitting in the rocking chair staring at nothing. "Talk to me," he says softly. "About what?" "About whatever is making you look like a ghost in your own skin." Maya is silent for a long time. Then, "I cannot stop thinking about Noah. About how I failed him. And now I am terrified I will fail Isabella and Sophia too." "You did not fail Noah. Your husband failed him. The system failed him, but not you. I should have left sooner. Should have protected him better. Maya, I knew Ryan was dangerous. I knew it, but I stayed anyway. And Noah paid the price. Her voice breaks. What if I make the wrong choice again? What if something happens to the twins because I did not see the threat coming? Dominic kneels in front of her chair. You cannot live your life preparing for every possible threat. You will drive yourself insane. All you can do is love them. Protect them as best you can. And trust that it will be enough. But what if it is not? Then we handle it together. You do not have to carry this alone anymore. Maya finally looks at him. Really looks at him. You keep saying we, but I am just the nanny. I am not. I am not their mother. I am not your. What do you want to be? The question hangs in the air between them. I do not know, Maya whispers. I am scared to want anything. Because every time I do, it gets taken away. Not this time. Dominic takes her hands. I know it has only been 2 months. I know this is fast. Probably too fast. But I have to tell you the truth. I am falling in love with you, Maya. I did not mean to. Did not plan to. But every day I watch you with my daughters, every night we talk after they are asleep, every moment I spend with you makes me more certain that you are supposed to be here. With us. With me. Maya's breath catches. Dominic, you do not have to say it back. You do not have to feel the same way. I just needed you to know. Needed you to understand that you are not just the nanny. You are the woman who saved my family. The woman who gave me hope again. The woman I want to build a future with. If you will let me. Tears stream down Maya's face. I am so broken, so damaged. I do not know if I can be what you need. You are already what I need. Broken pieces and all. Because I am broken too, Maya. We all are. But maybe we can be broken together. And maybe that is enough. Maya looks into his eyes. And she sees truth there. No lies. No manipulation. Just a man offering her his heart and hoping she will not destroy it. I am falling for you too, she admits. I tried not to. Tried to keep my distance. But I cannot help it. You are kind and protective and you love your daughters with a fierceness that takes my breath away. And when you look at me like I matter, like I am worth something, I start to believe it might be true. It is true. You matter more than you know. They lean toward each other slowly. Carefully. And when their lips meet, it feels different from the desperate kiss in the warehouse. This kiss is soft, tender, full of promise instead of fear. When they finally pull apart, Maya rests her forehead against his and whispers, "What do we do now?" Now? Dominic smiles. Now we take it one day at a time. No rushing, no pressure. Just us. Building something real. I can do that. Good. Because I am not letting you go. Not now. Not ever. 6 months later, the Moretti mansion looks different. Lighter somehow. As if the ghosts that haunted its halls have finally found peace. Isabella and Sophia are 10 months old now. They crawl everywhere, pull themselves up on furniture, babble in their own secret language. And they are happy. Genuinely, completely happy. They call Maya, Mama. Not because anyone taught them to. But because that is who she is. The woman who feeds them breakfast every morning. Who kisses their foreheads when they fall down. Who rocks them through bad dreams and celebrates every tiny milestone. Dominic officially stepped away from his criminal enterprises 4 months ago. He still owns legitimate businesses, real estate, restaurants, security firms. But the illegal activities? Gone. Handed over to Tony with his blessing. My daughters deserve better than to grow up afraid, he told his men. And I cannot give them that life if I am still living in the shadows. Some people called it weakness. Others called it smart. But Dominic did not care. Because every night he comes home to his daughters laughing, to Maya smiling, to a house filled with warmth instead of fear. And that is worth more than all the power in the world. Maya has changed too. She no longer flinches when someone raises their voice. No longer checks over her shoulder everywhere she goes. No longer wakes up screaming from nightmares about Ryan. She started therapy. Real therapy with a professional who specializes in trauma. It is hard. Some days she leaves sessions feeling worse than when she arrived. But Dominic is always there. Waiting. Ready to hold her while she cries or just sit with her in silence when words are too much. And slowly, painfully, Maya starts to heal. One Saturday morning, while the twins are napping and Dominic is making lunch in the kitchen, he learned to cook specifically so he could help Maya with meals. Marcus approaches with his ever-present journal. "Sir," he says formally. "I have been documenting the changes in this household over the past 8 months. And I believe you should see the summary." Dominic wipes his hands on a dish towel and takes the journal. Marcus has compiled a list. January. Average of 6 hours crying per day. No smiles. No laughter. February. Maya arrives. Crying reduced to 2 hours per day. First smiles. March. Victoria's arrest. Crying reduced to 30 minutes per day. First laughter. April. Ryan's capture. Crying only when hungry or tired. Regular laughter. May. Dominic proposes stepping away from crime. Twins start crawling. June. Legal businesses only. Twins say, "Mama," for first time. July. Dominic proposes marriage to Maya. She says yes. Twins turn 10 months old. Complete peace in the household. Dominic stares at the list, his throat tight. "You wrote that I proposed marriage?" "Yes, sir. 2 weeks ago. In the rose garden. With both twins holding the ring box." "How did you know that?" "I observe everything, sir. It is my job." Marcus smiles. "And for the record, I believe Miss Maya was an excellent choice. She has brought more healing to this family than any amount of money or power ever could." "She has not she?" "Indeed. And if I may be so bold, sir, your wife would have approved." Dominic looks up sharply. "What makes you say that?" "Because Mrs. Elena always said that family is built on love, not blood. And she always wanted her daughters to have someone who would love them unconditionally. Miss Maya does that, every single day." Dominic nods slowly, emotion threatening to overwhelm him. "Thank you, Marcus, for everything. For 30 years of service. For being there through all of this. For documenting our story so we never forget how far we have come. It has been my honor, sir." After Marcus leaves, Maya appears in the kitchen doorway wearing one of Dominic's old shirts and soft pants. Her hair is messy from lying down with the twins. And she looks more beautiful than anything Dominic has ever seen. "Is lunch ready?" she asks, smiling. "Almost. Come here first." She walks into his arms, fitting perfectly against his chest. They stand there in the afternoon sunlight streaming through the windows, just breathing together. "I love you," Dominic says. Not the first time he has said it. Not even the 50th. But every time feels important. "I love you too," Maya responds. And she means it. Fully. Completely. Without reservation. The wedding is in 3 weeks. "I know. Are you nervous?" "Terrified." "Why?" "Because I am afraid I will wake up and this will all be a dream. You. The twins. This piece. What if it is not real?" Maya pulls back enough to look at his face. "It is real. We are real. And I am not going anywhere. You are stuck with me. Promise?" "I promise." They kiss. Soft and sweet. The kiss of two people who have found home in each other. From upstairs comes the sound of Isabella babbling. Then Sophia's answering coo. And both of them start laughing. That pure, joyful baby laughter that makes everything feel right in the world. "They are awake," Maya says. "Let them talk to each other for a few minutes. I want to hold you a little longer." So they stand there in the kitchen, wrapped in each other's arms, listening to their daughters laugh. And for the first time in a very long time, both of them feel complete. The wedding takes place in the rose garden. The same place where Dominic proposed. The same place where Elena used to walk when she was pregnant, talking to her belly about all the dreams she had for her babies. It is a small ceremony. Marcus officiates, he got licensed specifically for this. Tony stands as best man. And Aunt Margaret, Maya's aunt who reconnected with her after learning about everything that happened, stands as maid of honor. But the real stars are Isabella and Sophia. They wear matching flower girl dresses in soft pink. And even though they cannot walk yet, they sit in special wagons decorated with flowers and are pulled down the aisle by Marcus. When Maya appears at the back of the garden, wearing a simple white dress with her hair flowing free, everyone stands. But Dominic only has eyes for her. She walks toward him slowly, carrying a bouquet of white roses. Her eyes locked on his. And when she finally reaches him, when she takes his hands in hers, they are both crying. "We are gathered here today," Marcus begins, "to witness the union of two souls who found each other in the darkest times and chose to build something beautiful from the broken pieces." He talks about love, about family, about the power of choosing to stay when everything tells you to run. And everyone listening knows he is not just talking about Maya and Dominic. He is talking about all of them. This makeshift family built from loss and grief and the stubborn refusal to give up. When it is time for vows, Dominic goes first. "Maya," he says, his voice thick with emotion. "You came into my life when I had given up hope. When I was convinced that darkness was all I deserved. But you showed me that light still exists. You saved my daughters. You saved me. And I promise to spend every day of the rest of my life making sure you never regret choosing us. I promise to protect you. To love you. To be the man you deserve. Today and always. Maya wipes tears from her face before speaking. Dominic, I was lost when I met you. Broken beyond repair. But you did not try to fix me. You just sat with me in my brokenness. And somehow, that was enough. You gave me a home. A family. A purpose. And most importantly, you gave me hope that maybe I could still be happy after losing everything. I promise to love your daughters, our daughters, with everything I have. I promise to be your partner in all things. And I promise to never stop fighting for this family we have built together. There is not a dry eye in the garden. Marcus pronounces them husband and wife. And when Dominic kisses his bride, Isabella and Sophia both clap their tiny hands together. As if they understand that something important just happened. Something that makes their family complete. The reception is small. Just dinner in the garden. Music from a string quartet. And lots of laughter. At one point, Aunt Margaret pulls Maya aside. I am proud of you, she says, tears in her old eyes. I know I was not there for you when you needed me. I know I failed you in so many ways. But seeing you now, happy and loved and safe, it is more than I could have hoped for. Thank you for being here today, Maya says, hugging her aunt. It means everything. That man loves you deeply. Hold on to that. Protect it. Because love like that is rare. I will. I promise. As the sun sets over the garden, Dominic and Maya stand together watching their daughters play on a blanket. Isabella is trying to grab Sophia's toy. Sophia is giggling and holding it just out of reach. Normal baby behavior. Beautiful, perfect, normal behavior. Can you believe this is our life now? Maya asks. Sometimes I still think I am dreaming. If you are dreaming, I am dreaming too. And I never want to wake up. Me neither. They stand there until the stars come out. Until the twins get sleepy. Until Marcus reminds them gently that the babies need to go to bed. And as they walk back to the mansion, each of them carrying a sleeping daughter, Maya realizes something. She is not just surviving anymore. She is living. Really, truly living. And it is more than she ever thought possible. Maya? Dominic's voice sounds far away. Maya, what is wrong? But she cannot answer, cannot move, cannot breathe, because Ryan found her. After 2 years of hiding, of running, of changing her name and disappearing into the streets, he found her. Dominic bends down and picks up the phone. The call is still connected. Who is this? He demands. Who are you? Ryan's voice is slurred. Drunk or high? Maybe both. You the rich guy my wife is shacking up with now? Ex-wife, Dominic corrects coldly. And you need to stop calling this number. Ryan laughs. A harsh, ugly sound. Or what? You will come after me? I am terrified. Listen, rich guy. Maya belongs to me. She always has. Always will. And if she thinks she can hide in your fancy house playing nanny to your brats, she is wrong. Dead wrong. Dominic's face goes dark with rage. If you come anywhere near her or my daughters, you will regret it. I promise you that. Big words. But here is the thing. I am already in Chicago. And I know exactly where you live. So tell Maya she has 2 choices. She can come back to me willingly. Or I can come get her. And I promise, if I have to come in there, it will not end well for anyone. The call ends. Dominic stares at the phone. Then at Maya, who has collapsed against the wall, her whole body shaking. Isabella and Sophia start to fuss, picking up on the tension. Marcus, Dominic says sharply. Take the twins upstairs. Now. Marcus appears and carefully takes both babies. He does not ask questions. Just nods and disappears up the staircase. Dominic kneels beside Maya and takes her shoulders gently. Maya, look at me. Look at me. She cannot. Her eyes are unfocused. Her breathing is too fast. She is having a panic attack. Right here on the marble floor of this mansion that was supposed to be safe. He is going to kill me, she whispers. He found me. After all this time, he found me. He is not going to touch you. You do not know him. You do not know what he is capable of. And he does not know what I am capable of. Dominic's voice is steel. I run the most powerful criminal organization in this city. I have resources he cannot even imagine. If Ryan Rodriguez thinks he can threaten someone under my protection, he is about to learn a very painful lesson. But the twins? What if he goes after them to get to me? What if? He will not get that chance. Dominic pulls out his phone and makes a call. Tony, I need a full security detail on the estate immediately. Armed guards at every entrance. Cameras on every corner. And I need you to find someone for me. Ryan Rodriguez, ex-husband of Maya Santos Rodriguez. I want to know where he is, who he is working with, and who told him where to find her. And Tony? When you find him, do not kill him. Not yet. I want to have a conversation with him first. He ends the call and turns back to Maya. You are safe here, I promise. He will not get past my security. You do not understand. Ryan is not smart, but he is vicious. He does not care about consequences. He will do anything to hurt me, including hurting innocent people. Then I will make sure there are no innocent people for him to hurt. Everyone in this house is trained to handle threats. Everyone is armed, and everyone knows that protecting you and my daughters is the top priority. Why? Maya's voice breaks. Why are you doing this for me? I am nobody. Just a homeless woman you took in 2 weeks ago. You do not owe me anything. Dominic cups her face in his hands, forcing her to look at him. You are not nobody. You are the woman who saved my daughters when no one else could. You are the person who brought peace to my house for the first time in 4 months. And you are. He hesitates. You are someone I care about. More than I thought I could care about anyone after Elena. Maya's breath catches. Dominic, I know it is too soon. I know we barely know each other. But I am not going to stand by and let some abusive piece of garbage hurt you. Not when I have the power to stop it. For a long moment, they just stare at each other. Then Maya leans forward and rests her forehead against his. Not a kiss. Just connection. The comfort of not being alone. Thank you, she whispers. Do not thank me yet. Thank me when this is over and he is in a cell where he belongs. The next 3 days are tense. Armed guards patrol the estate in shifts. Cameras record every angle of the property. And Maya is not allowed to leave the grounds for any reason. At first, the security feels suffocating. Like being in a beautiful prison. But after the second day, Maya starts to feel something else. Safe. Protected. Cared for in a way she has not felt since before Noah died. The twins sense the change in atmosphere. They are fussier than usual. Not crying like before, but whimpering. Clingy. Isabella refuses to let Maya put her down for more than 5 minutes. And Sophia has started waking up twice a night instead of once. On the third night, while Maya is rocking Isabella back to sleep at 2 a.m., Victoria makes her move. She arrives at the mansion gates claiming to be there for the twins' scheduled checkup. The guards let her in because she is the family doctor. Has been for 5 years. Why would they suspect anything? Victoria climbs the stairs to the nursery with her medical bag in hand and a smile on her face. She knocks softly. Come in, Maya calls, thinking it is Marcus checking on her. Victoria opens the door, and the smile on her face turns cold. Hello, Maya. I hope I am not disturbing you. Maya tenses immediately. Something about Victoria has always felt wrong. Like a predator wearing human skin. It is 2 in the morning. The checkup was scheduled for tomorrow. I know, but I heard about the security situation. Heard about your ex-husband. And I wanted to make sure the twins are not being affected by all the stress. Victoria sets her bag on the changing table. May I examine Isabella? Every instinct Maya has screams to say no. But Victoria is the family doctor. And maybe she is just being paranoid. Okay, but be quick. She just fell asleep. Victoria takes Isabella from Maya's arms with practiced ease. She checks the baby's heartbeat, temperature, reflexes. All normal. But then she pulls out a syringe from her bag. What is that? Maya asks sharply. Just a vitamin supplement. Babies who experience stress sometimes have deficiencies. This will help. Did Dominic approve this? Of course. He wants the twins to have the best care possible. Victoria moves toward Isabella with the syringe. And Maya's instincts take over. She lunges forward and grabs Victoria's wrist. Hard. Do not touch her. Victoria's mask slips. Just for a second. And Maya sees what is underneath. Pure hatred. Pure malice. Let go of me, Victoria says coldly. No. Something is wrong. You are lying about something and I do not know what, but I will not let you inject my baby with. Your baby? Victoria laughs. A cruel, sharp sound. She is not your baby, Maya. You are just the nanny. A homeless nobody that Dominic pitied for a few weeks. Do you really think you matter here? Do you really think he cares about you? Get out. Maya's voice is steady despite the fear coursing through her. Get out now or I will scream for security. Victoria considers her options. Then she carefully sets Isabella back in the crib and picks up her medical bag. Fine, but you just made a big mistake, Maya. A very big mistake. She walks out of the nursery. And Maya immediately locks the door behind her. Her hands are shaking. Her heart is racing. Something just happened. Something dangerous. But she does not know what. She picks up Isabella and holds her tight, breathing in the baby's soft scent. Whatever Victoria was planning, it did not work. And Maya will make sure it never does. The next morning, Maya tells Dominic everything. About Victoria showing up at 2 a.m. About the syringe. About the vitamin supplement that felt wrong. Dominic's face goes dark with fury. She came to the nursery at night without telling anyone? She said you approved the vitamins. I approved nothing. He pulls out his phone and calls Victoria. It goes to voicemail. He tries again. Still voicemail. Marcus, Dominic calls. Get me Victoria's schedule. I want to know where she is right now. Marcus appears with his journal. According to her calendar, she is at her private practice downtown. But sir, there is something you should know. What? I have been reviewing the household accounts. And I found some irregularities. Payments made to an outside security firm that I did not authorize. Payments that started 3 days ago. Right after Maya's ex-husband called. Dominic goes very still. Show me. Marcus opens his tablet and displays the bank records. 5 payments of $10,000 each. All made to a security company called Kane Solutions. And all approved with Victoria's digital signature. Kane Solutions, Dominic repeats slowly. Why does that name sound familiar? Because Marcus Kane runs it, Marcus says grimly. And Marcus Kane is the man who handles delicate problems for people with money and no morals. Understanding crashes over Dominic like a wave. Victoria hired someone to go after Maya. It appears so, sir. But why? What does Victoria gain from this? I think I know, Maya says quietly. Both men turn to look at her. She is in love with you, Dominic. And she sees me as a threat. That is ridiculous. Victoria is just the family doctor. We have never been. It does not matter if you have been anything. What matters is what she wants you to be. And I am standing in her way. Maya looks at Marcus. Can you prove the payments came from her? The digital signature is hers. But she will claim her account was hacked. Then we need more evidence. Something definitive that she cannot deny. Dominic's phone rings. Unknown number. He answers. Yes, Mr. Moretti? A rough male voice. This is Marcus Kane. I think you and I need to have a conversation. About a certain doctor who hired me to make a problem disappear. And about how I am no longer interested in doing that job. Why the sudden change of heart? Because I do business with honorable criminals. Not vindictive doctors who target innocent women and babies. So I am going to tell you everything Victoria Hale asked me to do. And then I am going to disappear. Deal? Deal. Marcus Kane talks for 15 minutes. And with every word, Dominic's rage grows deeper. Darker. More absolute. Victoria hired Kane to find Ryan Rodriguez. Paid him $50,000 to bring Ryan to Chicago. Gave him Maya's new identity and location. And promised him another $50,000 if he made sure Maya disappeared permanently. But Kane drew the line when he realized children were involved. Even criminals have codes. When the call ends, Dominic looks at Marcus and Maya with an expression that could freeze fire. Call Tony, he says quietly. Dangerously. Tell him to pick up Victoria Hale and bring her here. I do not care if she is with a patient. I do not care if she is in surgery. I want her here in 1 hour. And make sure she cannot run. Marcus nods and makes the call. Maya sits down slowly, her legs suddenly weak. She tried to have me killed. She tried to have you killed and used your abuser to do it. All because she was jealous. Dominic kneels in front of Maya's chair. I am so sorry. I should have seen this coming. Should have realized. You could not have known. Neither of us could. But I should have protected you better. You did protect me. You have been protecting me since the moment I walked through your gates. Maya takes his hands. This is not your fault. It is hers. All hers. An hour later, Tony arrives with Victoria in tow. She is furious. Spitting curses. Demanding to know why she was dragged out of her practice by armed men. But when she sees Dominic's face, all her anger evaporates. Because she knows. Somehow, she knows he found out. Sit down, Dominic says. His voice is so cold it could shatter steel. Victoria sits in the chair Marcus pulls over. She tries to look calm. Composed. But her hands are shaking. I know what you did, Dominic says simply. I know you hired Marcus Kane. I know you brought Ryan Rodriguez to Chicago. I know you tried to have Maya killed. And I know why. I have no idea what you are talking about. Do not insult me by lying." Dominic leans forward. "Kane told me everything. And he gave me copies of all the texts between you two. All the payment records. All the proof I need to have you arrested for conspiracy to commit murder." Victoria's mask cracks. "You do not understand. I did this for us. For you. That woman is using you. Using your grief. She does not care about you. She only cares about the money. The security. Stop." Dominic's voice cuts through her rant. "You do not get to tell me how Maya feels. You do not get to justify trying to kill someone because of your own jealousy. I love you," Victoria shouts. "I have loved you for 5 years. I was there when Elena died. I was there when the twins were born. I have been by your side through everything and you never even looked at me. But this homeless nobody walks in and suddenly you care? Suddenly you would burn down your empire to protect her? It is not fair. Life is not fair, Victoria. And love is not something you can manipulate or control. It just is." Dominic stands. "You are going to prison. For a very long time. And you will never come near my family again." "Family?" Victoria laughs bitterly. "She is not your family. She is the woman who saved my daughters," Dominic interrupts. "The woman who brought peace to my house when you could not. And yes, Victoria, she is family. Because family is not about blood. It is about who you choose to protect. Who you choose to love. And I choose her." Victoria stares at him with something like madness in her eyes. Then she lunges from the chair toward Maya. But Dominic is faster. He catches Victoria mid-lunge and slams her back into the chair with enough force to knock the wind from her lungs. "Tony," Dominic says calmly. "Call the police. Tell them we have someone who attempted to conspire to commit murder. And make sure they know we have evidence." Victoria screams, curses, threatens, but it does not matter. Because 20 minutes later, 2 police officers arrive and take her away in handcuffs. The last thing she says before they put her in the car is, "You will regret this, Dominic. You will regret choosing her over me." But Dominic just watches the police car drive away. And then he turns to Maya. "It is over," he says. "She cannot hurt you anymore. What about Ryan? I have people looking for him. When they find him, he will be dealt with. Legally this time. No more running. No more hiding. I promise." Maya nods, but she does not feel relief. Not yet, because she knows Ryan, and she knows he will not stop until he is in a grave or a cell. Beat 35 to 50 48 to 25, Darkest Night and Rescue. 2 days after Victoria's arrest, Maya wakes up at 3 a.m. to complete silence. No babies crying, no monitors beeping, just nothing. Her heart stops. She runs to the nursery and throws open the door. The cribs are empty. Isabella, Sophia, Maya screams. She spins around, searching desperately. Maybe they are on the floor. Maybe Marcus came to check on them. Maybe. A note is pinned to Sophia's crib. "You should have come back to me when I asked nicely. Now we do this the hard way. If you ever want to see these babies alive again, come to the old warehouse on Pier 19. Alone. You have 1 hour. Tell anyone and they die." Ryan. Maya's vision goes dark around the edges. Ryan has the twins. Her babies. The children she swore to protect. She should tell Dominic. Should call security. Should get help. But the note is clear. Tell anyone and they die. She cannot risk it. Cannot take that chance. So Maya grabs her jacket and runs. Out of the nursery. Down the stairs. Through the sleeping mansion. Past the guards who do not see her slip through the side door into the gardens. She runs through the cold night air, her breath coming in gasps, her mind screaming at her to turn back. But she cannot. The twins need her, and she will die before she lets Ryan hurt them. The warehouse is 40 minutes away on foot. Maya runs the whole way. Her lungs burn, her legs scream, but she does not stop. Cannot stop. When she finally reaches Pier 19, she sees the old warehouse looming like a monster. Broken windows, rusted metal, the smell of rotten seawater. She pushes open the door and steps inside. "Ryan?" Her voice echoes in the darkness. "I am here. Where are the babies?" A flashlight clicks on, blinding her. When her eyes adjust, she sees him. Ryan Rodriguez stands 20 feet away, older and meaner than she remembers. His face is gaunt. His eyes are wild. And in his arms, he holds Isabella and Sophia. The babies are awake, terrified, whimpering softly. "Let them go," Maya says, her voice steady despite the terror coursing through her. This is between us, not them. Oh, Maya. Ryan grins, a horrible, twisted expression. You still do not get it. There is no between us. There is only you doing what I say. Always. What do you want? What I always wanted. You. Obedient. Submissive. Mine. I will never be yours again. Then these babies die. Simple as that. Maya's heart clenches. Please. They are innocent. They have nothing to do with this. Neither did Noah. But that did not stop you from taking him from me. You killed Noah. You shook him until his brain bled. You. Shut up. Ryan's voice echoes through the warehouse. Isabella and Sophia start crying. Real cries. Terrified cries. Give me the babies, Maya says, forcing her voice to stay calm. And I will stay. I will do whatever you want. But please, please do not hurt them. Ryan considers. Then he sets the twins down on an old tarp on the concrete floor. They immediately start screaming. Go to them, Ryan says. Show me you care more about those brats than yourself. Maya runs forward and scoops up both babies. They cling to her, their small bodies shaking with fear. She rocks them, whispers soothing words, tries to calm them even though her own heart is breaking. Good girl, Ryan says mockingly. Now put them down and come here. No. What did you say? I said no. I am not leaving them. If you want to hurt me, you will have to do it in front of them. Ryan's face twists with rage. He pulls out a knife. Long, sharp, glinting in the dim light. You think you can tell me no? After everything I have done? After I traveled across the country to find you? After I paid that crazy doctor $50,000 for your location? You worked with Victoria? Maya's blood runs cold. Of course I did. She wanted you gone. I wanted you back. We both got what we wanted. Or we would have, if you had not been living in some mobster's fortress. Dominic will kill you for this. Dominic does not know you are here, Maya. You came alone, just like I told you to. And by the time anyone realizes you are missing, we will be long gone. You, me, and the insurance policy in your arms. He steps closer. Closer. The knife raised. Maya backs up until her back hits the wall. The babies are screaming, and she realizes with horrible clarity that she is about to die. And worse, that Isabella and Sophia might die too. I am sorry, she whispers to the twins. I am so sorry. That night, after both twins are fed and changed and sleeping peacefully in their cribs, Maya sits in the rocking chair between them and just breathes. Really breathes. For the first time since Noah died, she feels like maybe she can do something good in this world. Maybe she can help these babies in a way she could not help her son. Dominic appears in the doorway. Silent as a ghost. They are really sleeping, he says, wonder in his voice. Yes. How long has it been? 4 hours. They woke up once to eat. But then they went right back to sleep. No crying. Dominic walks into the room slowly, like he is afraid to break whatever magic is happening here. He looks down at Isabella and Sophia with an expression that breaks Maya's heart. Pure love. Pure terror. The look of a father who has already lost too much and cannot bear to lose anything else. Marcus told me about your son, Dominic says quietly. I am sorry. Maya stiffens. Did he tell you everything? Yes. And you still want me here? Why would not I? Because I failed to protect my child. Because I let my husband kill him. Because. Stop. Dominic's voice cuts through her spiral. You did not let anything happen. Your husband was a monster. He killed your son. Not you. Never you. But I married him. I chose him. I brought Noah into a house with a man who would. You could not have known. Dominic kneels beside the rocking chair, looking up at Maya with fierce intensity. Evil does not always announce itself. Sometimes it wears a charming smile and says all the right words. And by the time you realize the truth, it is too late. That is not your fault. Maya stares at him, tears blurring her vision. How do you know that? Because I have seen it. Many times. In my world, monsters hide behind expensive suits and friendly handshakes. They pretend to be allies until the moment they put a knife in your back. My wife. His voice breaks. Elena trusted the wrong person. And it cost her everything. What do you mean? Dominic stands and walks to the window. The hemorrhaging during delivery. The doctors said it was a complication. Something that just happened. But I know better. Someone tampered with her medication during the pregnancy. Gave her something that weakened her body slowly over time. Made sure the delivery would be difficult. Made sure she would not survive. Maya's blood runs cold. Who would do that? An enemy. Someone who wanted to hurt me by taking away the person I loved most. And they succeeded. Dominic's reflection in the window looks like a ghost. I have spent 4 months trying to find proof. Trying to figure out who was responsible. But every lead goes nowhere. Every witness disappears. And meanwhile, my daughters suffer because they can feel that their mother is gone. Have you thought about telling them? Even though they are so young? Tell them what? That their mother died bringing them into the world? That I failed to protect her? That the reason they cry is because they are mourning someone they never got to meet? Dominic's voice is bitter. How do you tell that to babies who cannot even talk yet? You do not tell them with words, Maya says softly. You tell them by loving them. By being there. By making sure they know they are safe and wanted and cherished. That is what they need. Not explanations. Just love. Dominic turns from the window and looks at her. Really looks at her. You are right, but I do not know how to do that anymore. Every time I hold them, all I feel is fear. Fear that I will fail them the way I failed Elena. You did not fail Elena. I did. I should have protected her better. Should have seen the threat coming. Should have. Should have what? Read minds? Predicted the future? Maya stands, moving toward him. You cannot control everything, Mr. Moretti. You cannot prevent every tragedy. Sometimes terrible things happen and it is not your fault. It is just life. Cruel, unfair life. They stand there in the soft nursery light, two broken people bound by grief and loss. And something passes between them. Not romance. Not yet. But recognition. Understanding. The knowledge that they are both survivors of tragedies that should have destroyed them but somehow did not. Call me Dominic, he says. Mr. Moretti was my father. Okay, Dominic. The name sounds strange on her lips. Too familiar. Too intimate. But also right somehow. Can I ask you something? Dominic says. Yes. Why did you sit outside my gates for 3 weeks? You had no reason to believe I would let you in. No reason to think anything would change. So why did you keep coming back? Maya looks at the sleeping twins. Because I heard them crying. And it reminded me of the night Noah died. The way he cried in my arms while I waited for help that never came. And I thought maybe if I could not save my son, maybe I could help someone else's children. Maybe I could do something good to balance out all the bad. That is not how it works. I know, but it is all I have. Dominic nods slowly. Then, unexpectedly, he smiles. Just a small curve of his lips. But it is the first real smile Maya has seen on his face. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for not giving up on them. I would never give up on them. They are too important. They barely know you. But I know them. I know what it is like to need someone. To cry out for help and have no one answer. I will not let them feel that way. Not as long as I am here. Something shifts in Dominic's eyes. Something warm and grateful and maybe a little bit dangerous. You are different from anyone I have ever met. Is that good or bad? I have not decided yet. They smile at each other. Small, fragile smiles that feel like the beginning of something neither of them expected. While Maya and Dominic share quiet conversation in the nursery, Victoria sits in her luxury apartment downtown, staring at the file Marcus Kane just delivered. It is thick, thorough, and absolutely perfect. Maya Santos, born in El Paso, Texas. Father died when she was 6. Mother remarried a man who abused both of them for 8 years. Maya left home at 18, worked minimum wage jobs to survive. Met Ryan Rodriguez at 22. Married him 6 months later. 2 years of documented domestic violence reports that went nowhere because Ryan's uncle was a police captain who made the complaints disappear. Then the baby, Noah Santos Rodriguez, born healthy, died at 3 years old from blunt force trauma to the head. Ryan Rodriguez was the prime suspect but disappeared before police could arrest him. Case went cold. Maya was cleared of all wrongdoing but lost custody rights because there was no child left to have custody of. After that, Maya spiraled. Lost her job, lost her apartment, ended up on the streets. Changed her last name back to Rodriguez to hide from her ex-husband, even though it meant carrying his name like a scar. Victoria reads every word twice. And then she starts planning. The key is not to attack Maya directly. That would be too obvious. Dominic would defend her, especially now that the babies are finally calm. No, the key is to plant doubt. To make Dominic question whether Maya is really as innocent as she seems. To suggest that maybe she has ulterior motives. Maybe she is not the angel she appears to be. And Victoria knows exactly how to do that. She picks up her phone and calls Marcus Kane again. "I need you to send someone to El Paso. Find Ryan Rodriguez. Offer him money to come to Chicago. A lot of money. Tell him his ex-wife is living in a $40 million mansion with access to one of the richest men in the city. Tell him she is vulnerable. Easy prey. And tell him that if he makes her disappear, no one will ask questions because everyone will assume she ran away like she always does." "You want me to hire someone to kill her?" Marcus Kane sounds shocked. Even for his line of work, this is extreme. "No, I want you to hire someone to threaten her. To make her scared enough that she leaves on her own. I just need her out of that house. And if Ryan Rodriguez is as violent as his file suggests, he will do the job perfectly. This is going to cost you. I already told you. I do not care what it costs." Victoria ends the call and pours herself a glass of expensive wine. She walks to the window of her penthouse and looks out at the city lights stretching toward the horizon. Somewhere out there, Maya is probably tucking those babies into bed. Probably making Dominic smile for the first time in months. Probably ruining everything Victoria has worked toward for 5 years. But not for long. "Enjoy it while it lasts, Maya," Victoria whispers to the city. "Because very soon, your past is going to come knocking. And when it does, you will run just like you always do. And Dominic will finally see that you were never the answer." "I am." 2 weeks pass like a dream Maya never dared to imagine. Isabella and Sophia transform into different babies. They smile. They coo. They reach for toys and giggle when Maya makes funny faces. They sleep through most nights with only 1 or 2 feedings. And best of all, they do not cry. Not like they used to. Not that desperate, hopeless crying that tore through the mansion like a siren. The house itself changes too. Staff members smile more. The heavy atmosphere lifts. And Dominic starts to look like a living man again instead of a ghost haunting his own estate. He spends more time with the twins now. Holds them without fear. Plays with them on the nursery floor. And every night, he asks Maya to tell him about her day with the girls. What they ate. What they played with. What tiny developmental milestones he might have missed while handling business. These conversations start to stretch longer. 15 minutes becomes 30. 30 becomes an hour. They talk about the babies. Then about other things. Their childhoods. Their hopes before everything went wrong. The people they used to be before grief changed them into survivors. One night, after the twins are deeply asleep, Dominic asks Maya to have tea with him in the sitting room. It is a small room on the 2nd floor, cozy compared to the massive formal spaces downstairs. Soft yellow light, comfortable chairs, a window overlooking the rose garden. They sit across from each other, steam rising from porcelain cups, and for the first time, the silence between them feels comfortable instead of awkward. "Can I tell you something?" Dominic asks. "Of course. I think Elena would have liked you." Maya's breath catches. "Really? She always said the best people are the ones who have survived pain and still choose kindness. She used to volunteer at shelters. Help women escaping abuse. She believed everyone deserved a second chance." Dominic stares into his tea. When she got pregnant, she was so excited. Not just about having babies, but about giving them a good life. Teaching them to be kind. To be strong. To be better than the world that created them. She sounds amazing. She was. She was everything I never thought I deserved. And his voice cracks. I miss her every single day. I see her in the twins. In Isabella's eyes. In Sophia's smile. And it kills me that they will never know her. Never hear her laugh. Never feel her hold them. Maya reaches across the small table and takes Dominic's hand. It is an instinctive gesture. Comfort offered without thinking. But the moment their skin touches, something electric passes between them. Dominic looks down at their joined hands. Then up at her face. "You have given me something I thought I lost forever." "What?" "Hope. The belief that maybe my daughters can still have a good life. That maybe I can still be a good father. That maybe we can all heal from this. You were always going to be a good father, Dominic. You just needed help. That is not weakness. That is human. I built my entire life on never needing anyone. On being strong enough to handle everything alone. And then the babies came and I realized I could not do it. Could not be everything they needed. And that felt like failure. It was not failure. It was just reality. No one can do everything alone. We need people. We need help. We need." A loud crash from downstairs interrupts her. Then shouting. Male voices yelling in Italian. The sound of furniture breaking. Dominic is on his feet instantly. his hand reaching for the gun holstered at his back. "Stay here with the twins," he orders. His voice has changed completely. No longer vulnerable. No longer soft. This is the voice of a gang leader. Cold. Commanding. Lethal. "What is happening?" Maya asks, fear rising in her throat. "A problem. Stay in the nursery. Lock the door. Do not come out until I tell you it is safe." He is gone before she can respond, running down the stairs with the gun drawn. And Maya is left alone with the sleeping babies and the sound of violence echoing through the mansion. Maya locks the nursery door with shaking hands, grabs Isabella and Sophia from their cribs and holds them both against her chest. They are still sleeping, oblivious to the chaos downstairs. But Maya's heart is pounding so hard she is afraid they will feel it. Afraid they will wake up and start crying again because they sense her fear. The shouting gets louder, closer. Someone fires a gun. The sound is like thunder. Like the world cracking apart. Maya has never heard a gun fired before. Not in real life. And the noise makes her entire body freeze. Then silence. Horrible, suffocating silence that is somehow worse than the shouting. Footsteps on the stairs. Heavy. Fast. Coming closer. Maya backs into the corner of the nursery, clutching the twins. If someone bursts through that door, she will. She does not know what she will do. But she will not let anyone hurt these babies. Will not let anyone take them. A knock. "Maya. It is me. Open the door." Dominic's voice. Thank God. She rushes to the door and unlocks it with one hand while holding both babies in her other arm. Dominic slips inside and immediately locks it behind him. "What happened?" Maya whispers. "An attempted robbery. 3 men broke into the first floor thinking the house would be empty because I was in New York last week. They did not know I came back early. Are they? 2 ran. 1 is being dealt with." Dominic's voice is flat, emotionless. The voice of a man who has done this before. Who will do it again? Maya should be horrified. Should run from this house and this man and this dangerous life. But all she can think about is that Dominic is safe. The twins are safe. And that is all that matters. "You are bleeding," she says suddenly, noticing a cut on his forearm. "It is nothing. Just a graze from some broken glass. Sit down. Let me look at it." "Maya, it is fine. Sit down." Her voice is firm, the same tone she uses with the twins when they need to listen. Dominic sits in the rocking chair. And Maya, still holding both sleeping babies, somehow manages to examine his arm. The cut is not deep but it is dirty. "Needs cleaning. I need to put them down for a second," she says. "No. Give them to me." Maya carefully transfers the twins to Dominic's arms. And for the first time, he holds both daughters at once without looking terrified. He looks down at them with such fierce love that it makes Maya's chest ache. She finds the first aid kit in the nursery closet and cleans his wound. Her hands are gentle but efficient. When she is done, she wraps his forearm in clean bandages. "Where did you learn to do that?" Dominic asks. "Practice. Ryan hurt me enough times that I got good at patching myself up." Dominic's jaw tightens. "If I ever find him, he will pay for what he did to you. He is not worth your time. Maybe not, but you are worth protecting." Their eyes meet, and something passes between them. Something that was building over the past 2 weeks but neither of them acknowledged until now. Maya is falling for this man. This dangerous, broken man who would kill for his daughters. Who kneels beside her at 3 in the morning singing off-key lullabies to twins who refuse to sleep. Who looks at her like she is the answer to prayers he never thought would be answered. And from the way Dominic is looking at her right now, Maya thinks maybe he is falling for her too. "I should go check on the situation downstairs," Dominic says quietly. But he does not move. "Okay." But Maya does not step away. They stay frozen in that moment. Him holding the twins. Her standing close enough to feel his breath. The air between them charged with something neither of them is brave enough to name. Then Sophia makes a small sound and the moment breaks. Dominic stands carefully, still holding both babies. "Will you come with me? Downstairs? I want you to see something. Is it safe?" "I would not ask if it was not." Maya nods. And together, they walk out of the nursery and down the grand staircase. The first floor is a mess. Broken furniture. Shattered vase. Blood on the marble. But the 3 intruders are gone. Only Marcus and 2 other men remain, cleaning up the damage. Dominic walks to the wall where photographs hang. Pictures of Elena, of the twins' birth, of happier times. "Do you see this?" he says, gesturing to the photos. This was my old life. The one where I thought power and money could protect the people I love. But it could not. It could not save Elena. Could not stop the twins from suffering. Could not stop my enemies from breaking into my own home. What are you saying? I am saying I want a different life. I want my daughters to grow up safe, happy, normal, and I do not think they can have that if I stay in this world. He looks at Maya. You have shown me that there are things more important than power. More important than empire. And I am ready to walk away from all of it if it means giving Isabella and Sophia a real chance at happiness. Maya's eyes fill with tears. You would do that? Give up everything? Not everything. I would still have the money. The house. The legal businesses. But the crime? The violence? The constant danger? Yes. I would walk away from all of it. For them. He pauses. And maybe for you too. The words hang in the air between them. Heavy. Meaningful. Terrifying. Dominic, her phone rings. The sudden sound makes them both jump. Maya pulls it from her pocket and looks at the screen. Unknown number. She should not answer. But something makes her press accept. Hello? Hello, Maya. The voice on the other end makes her blood turn to ice. Miss me? Ryan. Maya's entire body goes rigid. The phone slips from her hand and clatters to the marble floor. And she knows, with absolute certainty, that her past has finally caught up with her.